Mudford here. Welcome back, everybody. Today I'm going to be showing you how to wire up a tow bar to lights if you want to use, instead of the magnetic lights, if it's something you're going to be towing frequently, you might not want to use the magnetic lights and risk scratching everything up or risk them getting blown off or tipped over. You can wire direct into the lights on your vehicle that you're towing, and that's what I recently did with my Bronco. So I'll show you kind of what I did. Okay, this has got a body lift on it, so it's really easy to access the wiring back here. And we used heat shrink connectors on all these. Anytime when you're going to be messing with wiring under a car, I use them just for everything. They're really handy as the heat shrink connectors. Crimp both sides and then heat it up with one of those little butane lighters, and it shrinks right down and your connection is now weatherproof. So that's what I always go with. So what I did was I actually added, I didn't have trailer connection. Now I kind of got it just tied around the body lift puck or whatever you want to call it. I can untie it from there and use it for pulling a trailer. But I got my lights, my wires that come back. So what I did was I had wires coming from the front of the vehicle, from the vehicle, the Bronco itself, from the power and the switches to make the tail lights and brake lights and blinkers work back here. So I cut it and I spliced in another set. Well, I spliced in one set going to the for if I use it, pull a trailer. But I also spliced in another set. Set right here. That one runs right along the frame, and it's all fastened to the frame really good all the way up to the front. And here's my tow bar setup. This is all homemade also. I bought the hitch from Tractor Supply and some steel, welded it all up, and it hooks on to my tow point connectors that I already had, and with just pins, and it hooks on there. But anyway, this works pretty slick too with the winch. I can pull up to the Reese hitch of to the ball of my tow vehicle, and I can stick my head out the window and use the winch and drop the hitch right onto the ball. So that works really slick. So anyway, it just comes up here, and I can wire, and it's got the end like a trailer would have. And I just plug it right into my hitch on my motorhome or even my Expedition, which probably isn't the best idea, but this is pretty light. It's fiberglass, so it's pretty light to pull, but I prefer pulling it behind the motorhome. So there's one problem with this setup though. I'll show you in just a second. So I plugged this all in and was all excited. Thought I had her done. And this I coil up and I hang it behind the grill when I'm not using it. So it's out of the way, not even noticeable. But there is one problem with this setup, and that is the power from your tow vehicle will backfeed up the connector, and it won't work right because it's going to feed power back the way it's not supposed to go, and it's just going to mess things up. Like the blinkers wouldn't work right, and I knew everything was wired correctly. And there is one thing you can do. You can buy a kit, and I'll show that kit with the part numbers. You can pay $30 to $60 for the diode kit. So what the diodes will do is they will let the electricity come from that front connector up there that I just showed you and come back to the back, but they will not let it go back up your vehicle harness, back up to the fuse block and the switches and all that, your brake switch. They act like a check valve. They won't let the electricity go that way. They're one way electricity only. So you can put those on the ends of your wires coming from your vehicle that you're going to tow, the one that we're wiring right now, and you got to put them the right way so that the electricity can come from this vehicle to these taillights, but it can't come from the tow vehicle. So you just gotta, you can do that, and it probably works great. Like I said, $30, $60, $80 for those. What I did was I just wired in. This is coming from the front of the vehicle, going to the back, and I can, if I'm going to be just driving like normal, I can just snap this together, and the taillights work normal. I don't know if I can get it snapped together with one hand, but anyway, I can snap it together, drive down the road with this, you know, every day. Then when I hook up the tow bar, all I need to do is disconnect this, and I'm probably going to get some weatherproof ends or something for it. But you can get you can disconnect it like this, and now it's the same thing as basically as the diodes, only I've manually disconnected it. So the electricity can't get back up to my towed vehicle. It can only go from the towing vehicle to these back lights. That's the only place it can go. So it's kind of a cheap and easy way if you want to wire up a vehicle for a tow bar.